So life cycle accounting. When you look at cost generally, what comes to your mind? What are the types of costs that comes to your mind? If I ask you that, oh, want to manufacture, let's just say a product, any product. To manufacture this product, what are the kind of costs that comes to your mind?
Material cost.
Material cost, thank you. What else?
Labor cost.
Labor cost, thank you. What else?
Factory overheads.
Overheads, thank you. Any other one?
Times dismantling cost.
Dismantling costs. What else?
Research.
Fantastic. The major reason why you have life cycle costing is because anytime you're thinking about cost of product, these are the three guys that usually get attention. Everybody is thinking material cost, labor cost, overheads. And you could see those are the three types of costs that you mentioned first. It's very difficult or very rare to see people mentioning this type of cost that you guys have mentioned. But they are also part of costs that companies incurred trying to produce a particular product. And that is why life cycle accounting came to life. Because when you are talking of life cycle accounting, you are thinking about the cost you're going to incur right from the conception of your idea. Yeah, till the removal of products. Removal of products from the market. So you're almost talking about the entire life of that product. Entire life of the product. That is what you're talking about. So, which is quite interesting because this has gone beyond us thinking about how much materials are we going to need for this product, how much labor hours do we need, how much machine hours do we need. Now you are thinking about even before you launch the product, you have to do some researches to find out whether the product will even be marketable. You want to know whether people will be able to afford the product. All of that will require you to spend some money. You're going to get consultants. You're going to do some research. You're going to do surveys. It's some administrative cost you will start incurring even before you launch the product. And guess what? Even after you are done producing, when there is no market for that product, you might still have to spend some money to remove the machine you have used to produce the product. Take, for instance, if you go to oil and gas industry, where you have to explore, and for you to do your exploration, you have to dig, you have to do a lot of things, destroy the environment, put massive equipment, all of that. Even when that particular well is dried of oil, there's no more oil, there's no more gas, nothing is left there, you are required, you have an obligation to restore that environment back to the way it was before you started your exploration. So that cost is your dismantling cost or restoration cost, which is still part of the cost of that product. So if you have that understanding, then you start appreciating life cycle accounting. Because what does it do? What does it do? It brings to life every penny you spend from the conception of the idea of selling a product to the end of life of that product. And you cannot have a full understanding if you don't have the full understanding of product life cycle. And for people that have done SBL, you probably have done product life cycle in your study. Yeah. So let's look at product life cycle. What is the first stage? You've done the assignment already. What's the first stage?
Development.
Development.
Thank you. Development. And this is when you do your research and development. This is where you check the feasibility, you do a lot of studies. Yeah, you do your research and feasibility study. And if the product looks good and you think it's economical to produce, then you go ahead and say, yeah, this should be profitable. A lot of analysis will be done here. And you incur costs to do all of that. Guess what? You can do all of this and you never have to produce the product. But most times there are no new products that have been produced that would not have started from this point, and some costs would have been incurred there. Okay. Second stage.
Introduction.
Introduction. And that's when you put it into the market. Introduction to the market. This is almost just like you launching the product. To say, yes, this product is ready for sale. This is when you put it in the market. Yeah, iPhone 16 launched September 11, 2024. Pre-order, September 13, you get your phones and all of that. That is launching, that's introduction. Before that introduction to the market, they've done a lot of research. They've done a lot of studies. 17 is coming out in about 8 months. I can tell you for free that a lot of studies are going on now. If they've not even completed the studies, probably they've started manufacturing by now. Right? So launching, yeah, which means when you launch, it's not just easy. It's not just you saying my product is available. You're going to spend money to do adverts, to do promotions. See all those things that Apple would do before they launch their product. They will have media do stuff for them. There'll be advert. They will send communication to everybody. You will see pop-ups coming up. It's not free. They pay for all those things. And they will incur cost because they need to get attention. They want the market to be aware that a new product has been launched. And that will not happen just without spending some money. So you're going to spend some money at that stage. Third stage.
Growth.
Growth.
Yeah.
Is there a product that will touch this space, this particular one? Growth. Do you expect all products to go through that stage?
No,
Why?
because some might not be effectively introduced, like marketed, advertised.
Exactly.
and all that.
Yeah. Some might not even be accepted by the market. So this is only for successful products. There are so many products that have been introduced that never grew. You launch them, and they die the same day. Right? So for successful products, they will grow. Sales will go up. You expect sales to go up at this point. Yeah? And at this point, it doesn't mean that you're not going to incur costs still. You're still going to incur costs because you might still want to continue to maintain your market share or market leadership or something. You just want to stay in control and trying to do that. You might still have to be maybe giving some loyalty to your customers, maybe giving some promotions, maybe doing some sales or whatever it is. You're still going to incur some money. Yeah. And at this point, apart from those unusual costs, you will now spend a lot of your popular costs that you mentioned earlier when the product is growing. The material cost will go up, the labor cost will grow up because now the activity level has gone up. So all your variable costs will go up. So usually this is where the traditional accounting is usually focusing on. Whereas there are more to what you should focus on. You can see we have identified some costs under development, even introduction. Then when you are done growing, what happens to your product?
Mature.
It
Maturity.
matures. Fantastic. And what happens when it matures?
Sales is stagnant.
Fantastic. Sales that was growing before is now leveled up. It's no more going up, it's not coming down. It stays like that. Yeah. And I'm going to kind of try and draw what we're talking about here. So it's almost like we're saying you introduce, it grows, then it matures. Then after maturity, is the fifth stage comes in, which is what?
Decline.
Decline. But during maturity, what kind of cost do you think you might incur when you feel your sales is stagnant? It's not growing. What
Improvement.
improvement cost? Fantastic. So you
Yeah.
might have to improve the product. What else?
I guess new marketing
Yeah,
with
you might need to spend some money doing marketing. Probably look for a new market for your product. Remember, when you start doing SBL, you will learn more about this. Yeah. When you start doing your strategy, yeah, you can have new product in new market or same product in new market or same product in same market, whatever you are doing. But if you are selling, you have a product and the revenue of that product is stagnant, what are your options? Launch out to a new market. Go find another place, right? Or if you want to stay in the same market, then improve the product, redesign the product. Can also be the redesign. Yeah. Or you can even penetrate the market, which means you want to struggle and snatch some market shares from existing players. And how do you do that? You can do that through different types of strategy. The most popular one to penetrate is cost leadership. You want to be the one producing with the least cost. And what does that do to you? You are able to charge low price on your product. You're able to charge low price. And once you are charging low price, people can move away from the existing supplier to you. All of that, you are incurring costs in all of that. And those costs needs to be monitored. So what life cycle accounting is doing is to help you accumulate your costs right from the beginning to the end of life of a product. So it makes a lot of hidden costs to be transparent. Your popular costs are material, labor, overhead. But life cycle cost is saying that the same attention that your labor cost, your material cost is getting, research and development cost, feasibility cost, redesigning cost, marketing cost, promotional cost, they should be getting that same attention because those costs are relevant costs. You are spending those costs because you have decided to take decision to produce a product. So you need to know that your profitability is not just based on material cost, labor cost, and overhead, but rather all of those costs. Because when you don't know the cost, you cannot control the cost. And like I said to you, as a management accountant, which you are meant to be, sitting for this paper, you need to understand that cost control is one of your, if not the most important part of your work. So the more you can see the cost, the more you can control it. If you don't know about the cost, you can't control the cost. And at decline, definitely your sales will come down. Then you can decide to use any of these guys also to bring it up if you can ever come back to life. And that is why the product life cycle is like that. Yeah. Put this as time and you can put this one as sales. Any question? Yeah. Now, I believe you have a very good understanding of life cycle accounting. Now that you have good understanding, let me now ask you, why do we need it? What are the advantages? A lot of them have come up as we're discussing. So I expect you to be able to, you know, speak about it. So if you understood everything that I've been saying, you should be able to mention some advantages.
You can estimate the cost before even launching the product at an early stage.
Thank you. I'll call it cost transparency. Yeah. At every stage of product life. Yeah, because when you can see the cost, then it's easier for you to accumulate. So, like you said, easy accumulation. So you can know your total cost.
Okay, what about predict cash flows throughout the
Exactly.
product line?
Exactly. You can predict how you're going to spend money. Your cash flow will be better estimated. You know the time and how much you will spend. Because if you don't have this information, for instance, if you don't know anything about life cycle accounting, your focus will just be on material and labor, and you think that will not be incurred until introduction, yeah, until you are ready for air. But if you know about life cycle accounting, then you know that you need to start predicting cash outflow from this stage, development. When you are doing feasibility, you need to set some money out for feasibility. So that helps you to know that you need to start planning for early cash outflow. And even after the life of the product, you still need to spend some money. So you can really build a proper economics of your products that shows from the beginning to the end what amount of money we're going to spend, when are we going to spend. So better cash flow prediction. Very good. I hope this is clear to everyone. Any question? We're good? Nice. Any other advantage?
I feel like it also helps in deciding what project, what project we should take on, considering we're doing life cycle costing. So we'll know how much we are investing and which one's better.
Yeah, I'll take that. I agree with you because if you are able to accumulate your cost properly, it might also help you take decision as to which products should you be producing. So I will take it. So yeah. So I'll say 8 decision making on the choice of products to produce. The last one I'm going to add for you is on standard costing. Remember your standard costing in MA. Do you remember standard costing? Who can remind us? How does it work?
I can try.
Mm-hmm.
Standard costing is when the initially we set a price for a product, the estimating of the price.
Based on
Sorry.
what?
Um, Realistic estimates. I don't
Okay.
know.
So standard costing is about budgeting, and that budget is based on your estimated units of production. So if you're using the standard costing, you're almost working with, say, okay, this is my estimated cost, and which is part of your budget. And that's why you realize that every now and then you have to be doing variance analysis, actual, and budget, and there will be variance. And we'll see a bit of that later. Yeah. Then when your actual is too far away from your budget, from your standard cost, because you would have used your standard cost to do everything you are doing, yeah, you will realize that, oh, okay, I have to change my standard cost again because it's too far away. Actual is too far away from the standard cost. Then you need to keep changing because the variance will keep exposing you. If you have done your standard cost properly, your variance might not be so much, but if you have not done it properly, it will expose you. You will see it. However, when you are able to estimate your cost properly, fully, and timing is also very accurate, like you will see in life cycle costing, you won't have to make changes to your standard costing every now and then because you will always be close to the accurate actual. So, which means if you are doing your life cycle costing, you're going to have to change your standard costing in very few number of times. So what I would say is that your standard cost will require less update because this is more thorough for you. So you don't need to change it so many times. And those are the advantages of your life cycle accounting. Now, lastly, what I'm going to touch on is how do you calculate the life cycle cost per unit? Yeah, so you need to know that. Some of you put it, some of you didn't put it. So life cycle cost. Because sometimes there are some questions that can be all those 2 marks, MCQ, easy. They give you some information and they ask you, calculate life cycle cost, yeah, per unit. I mean, it looks quite easy and simple, but at the same time, don't take it for granted. So, and that's equals to all you need to ask yourself is, what is the total cost you expect a product to incur throughout its life? So, estimated total cost. Yeah. Then you just divide it by the estimated number of total units as well. I mean, it's as simple as that. Also, throughout the life of the product. And that's it. Any question from anyone? Life cycle accounting is not more than that. Remember, it's about looking at the product from the conception throughout the life, which starts from the development to growth to maturity to decline. Yeah. All the costs you incur must be well accounted for. And that's what life cycle helps you to do. And once you're able to do that, you're going to benefit from it. There will be cost transparency. All those other costs that don't get attention, they will start getting attention beyond the material and labor. Like you said as well, if you do life cycle accounting, you also have the benefit of being able to make a better decision because you are seeing your cost holistically. You are seeing everything. And once you do that, you're able to make a better decision. And another benefit is that when you do life cycle accounting, you don't need to change your standard cost every now and then because that standard cost will be close to actual. So you would not have to change it so many times. And like Usman told us, we're going to be able to predict the cash flow even better because we are paying attention to every stage of life of that product. And that's it. And you must be able to calculate the life cycle cost per unit, which is pretty easy. It's just you adding together all the cost that you have incurred from beginning of life to the end of life and divide it by the total number of units you produce from the beginning of life to the end of life. Simple. And that's the total cost per unit for that particular product.